Hi guys, I'm Bryn Austin and I'm going to be talking about Natasha Trethewey today. Natasha Trethewey was born on April 26th, 1966, so she actually has a birthday coming up pretty soon. She was a daughter of a mixed race marriage, which encouraged her to write about equality of African Americans and whites in the South. Her parents did get divorced, so she ended up splitting her time between Atlanta, Georgia, and New Orleans, Louisiana. These experiences encouraged her to write primarily about the historical issues combined with her personal experiences that she had while she was living in the South. Trethewey first studied English at the University of Georgia, and afterwards she got her MA in English and Creative Writing from Hollins University. Following that, she got her MFA in Poetry from the University of Massachusetts Amherst, and currently she is a professor of English and creative writing at Emory University, and she also directs the creative writing program there. She has many notable awards, which includes the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry in 2007. She was the Georgia Woman of the Year in 2008. She was the Poet Laureate of Mississippi in 2012. She was awarded the Lamont Poet at Phillips Exeter Academy in 2012. And probably the greatest of all, she was awarded the United States Poet Laureate in 2012 and also 2014. To start off, she has many different poems, but a few of them that spoke to me the most were Flounder, Housekeeping, and Myth. So I'll go ahead and start off with my close reading of Flounder first. Okay, so here's Flounder. "Here," she said, "put this on your head." She handed me a hat. "You 'bout as white as your dad, and you gun stay like that." Aunt Sugar rolled her nylons down around each bony ankle, and I rolled down my white knee socks, letting my thin legs dingle, circling them just above water, and silver backs of minnows, fitting here, then there between the sunspots and the shadows. "This is how you hold the pole, to cast the line out straight. Now put that worm on your hook, throw it out and wait." She sat spitting tobacco juice into a coffee cup, hunkered down while she felt the bite, jerked the pole straight up, reeling and tugging hard at the fish that wriggled and tried to fight back. "A flounder," she said, "and you can tell, 'cause one of its sides is black. The other side is white," she said. It landed with a thump. I stood there, watching that fish flip-flop, switch sides with every jump. All right. So mostly Trethewey uses imagery and the example of a flounder to demonstrate racial differences she faced as a child. In the last few lines, when she mentioned how the fish flip-flopped from black to white, that was probably how she felt personally being a child that was born out of a mixed racial marriage, especially in the South where there's a lot of discrimination going on at this point. The picture that she draws of her aunt having bony ankles gives the impression of a small, sweet lady who works hard, but also shows the undertones of life in the South. She uses purposeful diction, such as about white as your dad, and you're going to stay like that. And that shows that her aunt may not have had the most education. She included details such as her aunt spitting tobacco into a coffee cup. And we all know that tobacco is heavily associated with the South, and so is coffee. So those details that she included allow the audience to feel more personally attached to the characters. Okay, the next poem that I have is called Housekeeping. So I'll go ahead and read this one. "We mourn the broken things, chair legs, wrenched from their seats, chipped plates, the threadbare clothes. We work the magic of glue, drive the nails, mend the holes. We save what we can, melt small pieces of soap, gather fallen pecans, keep neck bones for soup. Beating rugs against the house, we watch dust, lit like stars, spreading across the yard. Late afternoon, we draw, the blinds to cool the rooms, drive the bugs out. My mother irons, singing, lost in revere. I mark the pages of a mail order catalog, listen for passing cars. All day we watch for the mail, some news from a distant place." Okay, the details that are included in this poem definitely makes it feel alive. There's very specific items in this, I think, that Trethewey uses in order for the audience to feel what she was experiencing or seeing during this time. She includes examples of thrifty actions such as melting small glue pieces together, saving neck bones for soup, and picking up fallen pecans. And this exemplifies the poor lifestyle that many people in the South may have experienced. There's not really much of a rhyme scheme in this poem, but it takes more of a narrative feel, which is kind of like a story. So we can see kind of what she was seeing. The ironing, the bugs they tried to usher outside from the house, and waiting for the mail make the reader imagine a human scene with a hardworking family. We kind of imagine this hot summer day. Maybe they didn't really go to school too much. Just kind of a hardworking family that did what they needed to do to survive. She focuses on the humble Southern black family and imitates the slow, hot feeling of summer. The last poem that I have for us is called Myth. And this one I think is really interesting because it's structured by flipping the first poem backwards for the second part, which creates a different sort of poem but with the same meaning. So if you just take a look at the words, it flip flops them, which I think is a really, really neat idea. So here's Myth. I was asleep while you were dying. It's as if you slipped through some rift, a hollow. I make between my slumber and my waking. The Erebus I keep you in, still trying not to let go. You'll be dead again tomorrow, but in dreams you live. So I try taking you back into morning. Sleep heavy, turning, my eyes open, I find you do not follow. Again and again, this constant forsaking. Again and again, this constant forsaking. My eyes open, I find you do not follow. You back into morning, sleep heavy, turning. But in dreams you live. So I try taking, not to let go. You'll be dead again tomorrow, the Erebus I keep you in, still trying. I make between my slumber and my waking. It's as if you slipped through some rift, a hollow. I was asleep while you were dying. And this poem has kind of a strange, somber, eerie tone to it, which I think she purposely creates, especially with the structure that she gives to kind of make it a little bit more unique and different than her other poems. The poem does create a sense of wishful thinking and hopelessness by imagining that the person she wishes were still alive would be there when she woke up, but discover that they were not. She compares time passing as a rift or hollow they had slipped through between her slumber and her waking, which I guess would probably emulate the part of her sleep where she'd be dreaming. She does use a rhyme scheme in this one, and I believe it's an ABC rhyme scheme. And it's interesting, though, how she flips it at the end and turns it around, but yet it's still the same rhyme scheme. But yeah, so that's Natasha Trethewey, and those are a few of her poems I liked a lot. And I hope you learned a little something, and thanks for listening. Hi, guys.